I'm live! Right, not expecting a flood of people. Kind of hoping someone comes along, or maybe even a couple. But, you know, if it's worth making, it's probably worth saving. So, I might talk in case, you know, they get watched again or something like that. So, no one yet, right. Well, there'll be me in a minute because I'm going to watch myself, check it's working. And there's a couple of seconds delay on once I've said something, there'll be a delay for a bit. Right, that's the lens. No, that's the lens. No, that is the lens. When you ran to me, oh. No, not what I wanted. No, it's not showing up anywhere. Why not? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. Okay, we got 2-second delay. So I'll turn my volume down because I don't need to hear my stuff. Oh, it's so weird. This is stupid. Right, that's one, that's me. Okay, I might as well write something here. Welcome! Let's see what happens. Okay, so I see someone's message on there. That should make a noise, really. That is so weird. It's so weird. Woke up this morning, dragged a comb across my head and cried. Woke up this morning, dragged a comb across my head and cried. Oh, no one's come to my party. Oh well. I did say I'd just sit here and meditate, so that's what I'll do. Try not to be too offended, because nobody loves me. It's weird, I keep looking there and seeing what I did 2 seconds ago, and that is just a bit weird. You know, I blame the advertisers. They haven't really... I was just thinking of doing meditation anyway. Even though it does seem a bit pointless. But to meditate live with someone live, it's got to be different than watching me. I mean, I know it's 2 seconds late, but it's got to be different than watching a video of me meditating. Yet people have watched that, so go figure. heard I think this was a British official person, saying about the people who from England or wherever had gone to join ISIS. He was saying there's nothing you can do except kill them. What a terrible state of affairs. I mean, to say that is the only answer. This is why we need theology debates. We need it open, we need it debated, we need to hammer down to the truth. And I definitely want to be involved in that. I wonder if I play some music, would that become copyrighted? I guess it would, wouldn't it? Not that song I just played though, because I made that up. Proper weird. Seven minutes in. Nobody here, so no one that I just did a link to Facebook. Come and join me at 6 if you like. People are always fashionably late, aren't they? But maybe I'll get one of those YouTube crawlers crawling around on the internet looking for somewhere to go, and I'm here waiting for you. Yeah, why don't I just say I'm going to do this 6 till 8 on a Monday, UK time, Greenwich Mean Time, which is about to change this weekend. We go an hour back. So, you know, it's got to be regular, hasn't it? And why not outreach to the world? I mean, I could have a meditation class in my room here, but obviously, you know, you're only going to get people who can walk, and I mean, what am I on about? You're only going to get locals. I think that's one of my biggest problems. I often, like, when I'm getting to the point of something, I say it really quick, and sometimes I mumble it. You're actually seeing everything I do now. Like, I want to let it go out, but I don't want to waste it. So, inhale through my nosey. Sometimes it hurts. Right. We got anyone yet? How can it be naught? I mean, I'm on it myself. Maybe there was someone here. Oh shit, well, you should have said something. It's a lonely place. And when you ran to me, your cheeks shone with the night, Bavarian blue bright, Bavarian blue bright, I love got someone back. Come on, if you're there, write something. I don't know why it went to 0 and then went to 1. It must be me. It's me talking to me. Get mad. You can't. Insanity is a myth. Well, it isn't, but it is. Your belief system provides your sanity. 2. Right, definitely got someone. Come on, ask me a question. Or you just want to see me mucking about. Not taking my clothes off or anything. I refuse. Oh, got a like. Nice. Somebody likes it. But then they cleared off. You know, when I was watching Emerald Dreamer, he does Saturday Night. And you know, nice bunch of people on there chatting away. And when, like I said goodnight, and then, you know, he turned the camera, he went goodnight, and I felt, oh, it is quite scary, you know. I was a bit scared of doing this, but, you know, it's nice actually when you just do it, and you can take the feelings, and then you're glad you did it. Well, so the 1 or 2 people who may be here now, are you my regulars? Either people who watch all my stuff, you know. Someone has. I'd like to meet them. Well, I'm meeting you. It's just getting a bit awkward now, isn't it? Isn't it? Come on. No, I don't like telling people what to do anymore. It's not. It doesn't work anyway. It has the opposite effect. If you listen to Radiohead, I think they've got a good thing going where they sort of say the negative things. So I could say to you, go away, don't watch me, go away, and you're more likely to want to stay. And you know, Radiohead, a lot of their lines seem negative, but I think it's that reverse psychology they're using. Oh, I lost someone. Oh, I was banging on about Radiohead and you went. It is quite weird. I feel a bit, yeah. I'm not sure if I'm on my own again or if there's one person there. Don't know. I'm sure someone will say something at some point. There's a radio headline that goes, "We all bet you choke, bet you choke." And you know, I love his style. Well, the whole band, fantastic. And but I'm sure a lot of their songs, they just made them up on the cuff. And I think that's partly what makes it so good. And you got Muse, who I've only recently listened to, but kept hearing people saying, listen to Muse. And I listened to them, and they are so copying Radiohead. I can't listen to it because it's like, yeah, it's just like looking at a cheap imitation of something. Just makes me want to listen to the real thing and not listen to this cheap imitation. But some of their other lines in Radiohead are just awesome, like rain down, come on, rain down. This is the good bit. From a great height, from a great height, rain down, rain down. about to break the house. Yeah, this is a bit weird. Come on, we all need to be more courageous. So I don't want to accuse you, stupid, but courage is definitely something that God requires. God requires us to have some courage. And it's always the way, first step is the hardest. But once you make that first step, then you're going to be pleased that you did. Still just me looking at myself. No one's written anything. I don't think I have to refresh it or anything, do I? Shouldn't have to. Oh, well. It's going to end up me either just blabbering on. Actually, no. Should not anticipate the future. The now. The now. Take a look at this. Woman, core. Man, light, surrounding the core. That's a soul. That is a soul. But we're like separated here in this universe. Your woman core and your man. An empty shell. A shell of light, though. And you'll meet lots of these, if you're one of these. And you may try and do this with them. And it may last a few years. It may be happy for a few years. But eventually, if it's not the one you're meant for, and there's only one you're meant for, and if it's not that one, you're going to get tired of each other. She's going to get sick of you doing that. And you're going to get bored of doing that to her. You are going to start liking the feeling of doing that to somebody else. And she's going to like the feeling of somebody else doing that to her. Just for variety's sake. Just for change. You know, when you've been in a relationship 5, 6 years and you get to that point where you're just like, yeah, you know, it's kind of run its course. I mean, in the old days, people worked at it. They stuck together. When divorce wasn't a question, people stuck it out and they stayed together. And then when divorce is allowed, it becomes more socially acceptable, it's more normalised, and then everyone gets divorced. And it's quite normal, you know. Second wife, third wife, fourth wife, you know. I mean, I even know one guy refers to his wife as his current wife, his current Mrs. whatever his name is. And he is his first wife. So it's like, you know, maybe he says that to keep that sort of excitement going. Right. I'm going to just meditate. Because if not, I'll just play guitar. Or maybe I should wait for some, you know, in case someone comes. Set my people free. Tomorrow will be too late. Tomorrow will be too late. Can't play any covers because I don't want to get any copyright shit on my thing. Oh yeah, that's the little riff. Like, This is nice. I'm sure God was giving me the impression that this was a good idea. And patience is probably what is required. No, I'm not going to bother. Stop sliding. Stop it. The name of God is Jesus. The word of God is truth. In fact, I'm going to say my prayer. Thank you, Jesus, our Mother and Father. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give me this night the courage to do what is right, and forgive me for my trespasses, and teach me how to love more, and help me to forgive those who trespass against me. Lead me not into temptation, but deliver me from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, for ever and ever. So be it. By the way, like, our soul is, not of this universe, and this body we have is a loan from God. This body we have is androgynous. I can't remember the facts. But it does have both the male and female sort of aspects in it. And I've been, when I've been meditating, I always wondered what I should do with my hands. I always settled on just do whatever feels just relaxed. And it usually ended up being this, so one hand inside the other, just in my lap. And lately I've liked to have it like that, and have my feet touching. So I'm all connected. And just recently, when I've been feeling like this is the soul, this is the female core, and this is the man, the light around it. By putting my hands like that does kind of make me think of that, and that the fact that the cells in my body are androgynous, and we're all connected and stuff like that. It does seem to create a certain charge when you meditate. So like what I do is I close my eyes, I'm sitting straight. I don't always sit straight. Sometimes if I'm here, I can be like this. And I'll start getting a feeling. And if I start getting a feeling, I don't move. I stay in the position I am. So some meditations I've done has been in some funny positions. Some slouch, crouch, standing up even. I've done that. But anyway, generally sitting down to relax. And so, the first thing I'm doing is I'm being calm. I want to feel a calmness. And the calm is here. Weirdly enough. Yeah, I haven't sort of explored that too much. Why? But it's always, when I think myself calm, I suppose I'm thinking from the top. Calm. Yeah? And because that is the key, you know, any sort of feeling you have when you're meditating, you know, it can get you quite excited because sometimes some real strong stuff happens. And you'll deal with it best the calmer you are, the better you'll deal with it. And so I'm feeling that calmness coming down. I'm not feeling it coming down really, I'm feeling it here. And then I suddenly start getting the feelings in my temples. And that is my connection to God. When I first started getting that was when I made a video called Conduit to God. And it was a new experience for me. But what it was like because I'd felt spirits before on the bridge of my nose, so this feeling in the temples was like protection from any other spirit. And if I've got one inside me, I can say, look, you know, it's my will that you leave me, basically. I don't want you here at the moment. I want to be with God. And I kind of recommend that you go with God, and you can, because God is right here. So they only got to go, they can go either direction they want. And yeah, you just do what you do. You don't think, oh, this is silly. Well, if you do that, then you'll stop doing it, won't you? And I've done hours and hours of stuff that could be silly, but it kind of all led to something. It all had an outcome. So anyway. So, yes, you sit calm. Basically, you feel whatever comes. Now, I did some videos back in 2014 of me shedding my facades. Now, the way they came in was with facial contortions. And I was not faking this. I was not trying to do anything. I was just letting it happen. My nose flared up more than I could ever make it. My whole face at one point was doing this. I don't even know how to pull that face, you know. At one point my nose felt like it was stretching over. It looked like it had a curve. You know, I have not got a curved nose. I've got a straight nose. Even ski jump. So, yeah, I mean, you can watch the video. Maybe if anyone listens, I'll stick it in on one of those end screens, you know. So, and then what happened after that is, while it was happening, I thought, you know, how long is this, because it was strong, so I first thought, you know, how long is this going to go on for? And I'd say every sort of 30 seconds-ish, it kind of changed into a slightly different facial expression. So it was moving, it wasn't stagnant, it was doing stuff. And while I was pulling these faces, it made me aware of things in myself, and then there was a sort of an emotional response, you know, to that. And so that's all good stuff. It's how, you know, I mean, you know when you're doing this that you couldn't be doing anything more worthwhile. You fix something in your soul, you're fixing something forever. And when you don't do it, you're preventing yourself from fixing something forever. I've been thinking lately about humility, you know. Those who are humble will be exalted, and those who exalt themselves will be humbled. And, you know, I think we do this constantly. You know, you think you're on a winner and you're walking around, how proud, yeah, king of the earth. And my mum. And, you know, and then something inevitably happens that brings you down. It makes you realise, you know, you're not great as you thought you were. And then so you accept that, and that's kind of humility, and you're walking around going, you know, more and all that. Just you know, Anything else? Anyone else? And sorry, no one's come. And then someone gives you a compliment, or you get something, that exalts you, and it works. So what I was thinking then last night, in fact, is that okay, when I do get a compliment, then when I get something that exalts me, I'll try not to let it get to me too much, and I'll just try and remain humble. Because then I won't necessarily have to have something that kind of brings me down a peg or two. So, recent thing, probably keep forgetting. I'll tell you the good thing about meditation. You get into deeper levels and you remember all the stuff that you learned when you were at that level before. So you can be in deep meditation, you know what you're doing, you're learning something, you learnt something, you come out of deep meditation, and then say maybe the next morning you don't kind of quite remember what it was you got, you're not, doesn't seem as great or whatever as it did at the time. That's kind of a separate issue. But when you get back there, when you get back on that deep level, you do remember the stuff you've learned. You do. So you don't need to worry about that. Don't need to worry about anything. God has designed this. And the best thing about knowing you have a soul is it just takes usually the things that get you down are the pressures of society. You don't own enough yet, you're not wealthy enough yet, you're not going to enough parties and having enough fun, or perhaps whatever it might be, or you don't feel like you're healthy enough, and it's best just to let go of all that. But there are many traps, and they're mainly man-made. I think probably more important than smoking, I need to get off chocolate and biscuits. I mean, it's like, I'm running low on biscuits, and I think, gotta go to the shop, I don't want to be out of biscuits. And I kind of been practicing, no. I've been eating healthily, but I haven't been eating much at all. In fact, today, I haven't eaten anything. I just had a slug of juice. But the other day I had a really healthy meal. Chopped carrot, chopped cucumber, hazelnuts from my garden chopped. What else did I have in there? Grapes, avocado. Avocado. Oh. So when you have avocado, I don't feel that need for cheese and stuff like that because the avocado's got the fat in it. Anyway, so I ate this bowl of food, and usually after eating I quite fancy something sweet. But after this particular bowl of food, I really didn't want anything else. I just had such a lovely feeling in my stomach. I didn't want to put anything on top of that. I think I did, like half an hour later, but it wasn't in the normal way, so that was in the normal, I've got biscuits in the cupboard, I want to go and get a biscuit and eat it. I got 2 likes. Okay, so, alright. So someone's around. I don't know, like maybe you tried to chat. Let me just talk to me. Oh, that's it. Oh, it's not working. So it is broken. I probably missed all these. It's crap. No, no one said anything. Ask me something. If like, because I don't want to be pushy. Oh yeah, if I would have got it. Well, I got a like for rabbiting on about stuff, so hoorah. Alright, back to the meditating. So yeah, and I did a video recently, sort of a summary of the things I've learned in the last 3 years. Like, some things private, right, to do with my family and me and soulmate. So I don't share that because I haven't got their permission. They don't believe me anyway. So I'm not going to do that. But, you know, a lot of the stuff I've been learning is once you get into that meditation and what it means. What does it mean if you start shaking? I'll tell you what it means. It's resistance. I've shook, you know, I've spent in the last 2 or 3 years, I've spent maybe an hour shaking, maybe 2. I've shook in every possible way, you know, and maybe that, you know, maybe that just needed to be done to loosen things up or whatever, but quite often I've had a feeling that's coming, and this is more recent, and I've felt the beginnings of shaking. So I've felt that, you know, the urge to start shaking, and pretty much knowing that the shaking would be a resistance to something, then I realised that. So the shaking wasn't the thing to go into. The thing to do is to accept this feeling. So you have this calmness, you have God in your temples when you get that, and you'll know, by the way, God has a, you know, we all have a frequency, and there has been things that have tried to emulate God in my temples, and they're not, then you can tell they're not God because they're not so smooth. When you feel God in your temples, here's his mother, his father, it's so smooth. It's just pure. And if you can relax and stay calm and stay with it, you can start to feel the enormity of God. And if you want to feel the enormity of God, God will let you. But God can be as gentle as anything. And we also need to be gentle with our own heart and gentle with others once you can get into your heart. So, you know, it takes a long time to work from this, maybe through here. It's all about your humility. But you get there, you'll work it out, you'll kind of feel what you need to feel, and you get any feelings here, just allow them. I mean, your heart is the strongest bit about you. The heart can deal with stuff. Quite often in meditating, I'm just like, let the heart deal with this, because the heart is you. You are your heart. That is the main part of you. That is you. And when you feel your heart, you know, you become this. It's like it's got gravity or something. And it's such a nice feeling. It's like, first sort of time I kind of got into my heart, I thought, wow. Now here's something I can do. Here's something I can play with in meditation. There's, you know, this is going to be good in a sense. You know, I really felt that. And so, once you get sensitive enough, your heart your heart feels it has the courage, because we kind of shut the heart down through life, can't help it, you're made to do it, you're taught to do it, it's the way it's been, blind leading the blind. But anyway, when you do get there, and you will, the emotions, the stuff, there's a lot to deal with down here, beneath the heart. I still have stuff coming up. I doubt I've cleared everything in my life. But I've done a lot. I've done a lot of feeling that way. And then beneath that you have, you go into where your bits are. And like, if you think the very tip of your anus hole, that's what it is. That is an entry point for Mother God. I know it sounds crazy, but it is. And the entry point for Father God is right on the top of the head. But you see, we're in Mother God. We're in God. Us, soul, and the physical body. The physical body is God. All the cells and atoms, they are God's love. Every single cell and atom there is God's love. And I guess that applies to the spirit world too. Because what you really are is half a universe. This universe is our mother and father's. We all have a universe. You and your soulmate together are a universe. Where is this universe? Well, there's a black hole at the center of every single galaxy. And one of those is yours. One of them is mine. So see, God loves us all equally. And you think of that galaxy surrounding your black hole. Think how much love there is. God has you surrounded in love. Loads of it. When, A.J. Miller is sort of very much asked for God's love. And so when I set out, that's what I was doing a lot. And I did manage it from both father and mother. And, I would at times just really get filled with love. Especially when I was doing the 2 weeks off cannabis. Then I get really stoned. Yeah, love. I'd be off, go to Oxford and busk in. And also went to America and saw my best friend on one occasion. Just boom, just like, I really want to do this. And, so at the beginning I was like, I'm running out. I want to get some more. And it became and there's just a selfish thing. All I want is take. And, so it's a long old thing. And every time we breathe in, we're receiving God's love. Even our breath isn't ours. Our only possession is the heart. And we are not, most of us, I imagine, are not ready to be without that constant inpouring of love from God. But there's another way you can get it. You can get it through feeling, directly through the soul, just by asking for it, by wanting it, yearning for it. That's how you talk to God. You talk to God with your emotions. That's where most of us can talk to God, when we're at our wit's end. And that's probably right, because, we should try things ourselves. That's what we're about. God doesn't want us to be eternally dependent on him, her, although we'll always be in him, her, in the sense we are that black hole in God's universe. And we need to know we need God. I mean, that's kind of the first step. But once you progress and you learn, eventually, you don't. It's good to kind of. Like, God is always there. Knowing that is often enough. God is there if I feel I need her or him. It's good to have the realization that you're not your body. That everything you see around you physical is, might as well be the Matrix. Because it's not what matters. If you think about when you die, you're not going to think about what furniture you had or how many apples you ate. It's all going to be about the relationships you've made. It's all going to be about the relationships you've made and what you've learned. Oh, I got like a crown. Faithful philosopher. Got a crown on his head. Because he's the only one here. How are we doing? We've been going for 47 minutes. Gosh. Does anyone wanna join the party? La 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 la. Mustn't sing anything with copyrights. So what do you think about Brexit in Europe, eh? Good, isn't it? I just heard the richest provinces in Italy, they want to start getting more of their own power. We should have power should be from the grassroots, from the people. We should have referendums on everything. And, with the IT we've got today, you could easily set up a system where everyone could have a voice. And it will start in the communities. I think I'm going to meditate because it's been 50 minutes. I've been talking and trying to keep this interesting. I could do some higher self stuff, couldn't I? So you see these QHHT people, and they've got someone who will read a script. It's a hypnotism script. Now we don't know what that script is, because they don't put that on the video, because if they did, we'd all be thinking we're chickens. So you can get into your higher self through meditation. Basically that's what it is. Your soul is connected to God. So when you start feeling your soul, if you're open-minded to God, you will start connecting to God. Because God really wants to connect with everyone. God wants that. It's God's plan. It's what will be. Hello, children. So that was like, that just, it came to me. I haven't done this before, I'll see. Well, I've done something similar, but not quite like this. I am your mother and father. Actually, I am your father. It's father speaking. Come to me. Through my son Stephen. Time is coming. It's always the time, isn't it, Father? I guess that was a yes. Father, can you speak to me? Did you want me to do this live chat video? I got yes. Why? To connect to the people. And get used to it. Father, are the humanoids you made that built the pyramids, are they on the Earth? No. Are they on the moon? Yes. Observing us? I already had a yes. But they won't interfere, no. And why? Enigma. The Earth is ours, the moon isn't. Can't have it. Okay. Is the Great Pyramid a tool I'm getting, don't talk about this yet. Matthew. I just asked, is there a message for anyone who might watch this? Matthew. What's the message? Great. Great tide. Times. Great awakening. See, when I say something, I get a buzz. Obviously, you can't see that, I don't suppose. It's kind of a yes. Well, it is a yes. It's a confirmation. You know, when you when you're in truth, you feel good. You start thinking something which isn't truth, you feel bad. Like in the pit of your stomach. Right here. It's not the heart, but the next one there. I was saying, I was asking, what's the biggest problem? I don't know if I already had the answer in my head before. And is the relationships between men and women the biggest problem in the world? Biggest. It's a big problem. Problems. This isn't from God. Problems are the raw material for achieving your goals. The things that stand in your way. So you should, we have a thing, we have a problem, we don't want to think about it, we don't want to focus on it, but that is the key to achieving what you want. To overcome the problem. You're not going to overcome it by not thinking about it. You're not going to overcome it by dwelling on it either. But look at it. Shows you something. Like the one I have, is the addiction to tobacco. Because I've been smoking for so long. But it's had its uses. But when I do go without, I often feel pretty good. Anyway. Ah, sorry. You're still there, bro. Oh yeah, how you doing? How you doing? When you feel God's presence, do you feel like an awareness mentally as well as emotionally, or is it only emotional? So like I was saying, to feel God's love would be purely emotional. Would be God's love coming into you and getting to the heart from either direction. Just like then, what I was doing is I'm just feeling, when I feel God in my temples and I want to expand it, so that all that time I was concentrating on Father God, so here, and so in that sense it's there in my mental awareness, in my picture. And when I go fully into the heart, I stop seeing with my eyes and it kind of just becomes one. So it's not two eyes anymore. It becomes one. So it's sort of all encompassed. The harvest is ready, but the workers are few. I wonder what AJ Miller is doing. Hasn't uploaded a long time. Okay, well they've got, if you can go and read their blog. They have done an update on their blog just recently in October, and their studio videos, I think they've just finished them, they're editing them, and they are going to be uploaded, they reckon, in November. I think we are all the workers, and we're just at different stages on different routes, so we're all, it's God's plan, so we're all heading towards this central truth. And you probably know that, you get a little bit of truth and it feels good, but then it's hard for a bit. It's just into that truth. And so I think we're all doing, like this guy Stephen Paddock, he machine gunned a load of people. It's terrible. And I watched a video channeling Eric, and they spoke to Stephen Paddock, and he said he was doing it to bring attention to the state of mental health in the people. So he was, he always knew that he was, so this is what they're saying through channeling Eric, it was pretty good. He always knew he was mentally ill, but he hid it. And, he thinks there are lots of people like that. And we all go through that terrible twos. We all have that experience. If you see a child going through the terrible twos, it's quite heartbreaking. But it's a matter of survival. You couldn't have alright, when my kid went to school, if he had been this sort of perfect angelic thing, he wouldn't have survived. He wouldn't have been able to cope with the mean things that were done, I expect. Just would have hurt too much. So we have to lower our levels of love to survive in this world. Now I'm 40 and I have begun to go in the back up. So in the past, however many years, I'd say several, I started to make a change and started to go up, I'd say. And but I'm 40, so I don't need to care so much about what people think about me. I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. And yeah, so I'm stronger because I've had 40 years on the planet. I can take it. Like my dad used to. My dad used to be pretty harsh on me. He never hit me. He did that once in a while, but that was about it. He would put me down, and now if someone puts me down, it's like water off a duck's back. And I think that's why he did it. Oh, hey, you're talking about channeling Eric? I've seen a channeling where they channel Jesus, yes. And he said he came through reincarnated in 1962. That's where A.J. Miller was born. Absolutely right. And they did a couple. And the channeling, I think the one where he said he was reincarnated in 1962, was with, I think, her best channeler. And they did a different channeling with Jesus, with, I think, her most original channeler. And that wasn't so good. That wasn't so accurate, I don't think. So I think the more recent one that I agreed with was accurate. Yeah. Yeah. But you know, they're using the wrong name. Jesus is the name of God. Said in English. I say that a lot, don't I? So. Well, thanks for your comments, mate. And, you know, I think we've got maybe one or two other people here, which is better than nothing. Hey, at least I'm not talking to myself anymore. If you're still there, Santanos Rabbi. Oh, I have another question. Why did they say in the Paget messages that AJ Miller is not Jesus and reincarnation doesn't exist? I don't know. I haven't actually read all of that. All of the Paget messages. I don't see how the Paget messages could have known about AJ Miller, seeing as the Paget messages were written in the 1920s. So I don't know if that's something that the website that they continue it have put on. I don't know. So anyway, let me ask you. So I've looked at your channel, and you know you've got a lot of videos of this particular band. Is that your band? And there's a couple of second delay, so if you get time to answer that, that'd be good. Shall I go back to meditating? That's the Les Twins, dancers from Paris. I've made music videos using their clips. Okay, so do you know them? So wait a few seconds. Tick tock, tickety tock. Oh, you made the music videos. Ah, I see. Just using... So you make your own music then? That's cool. So you're German? Speak good English. You write good English? Or you just live in Germany? Probably. Half African, cool. Can you just tell me which half and which part of Africa? I've been to Uganda, Kenya, nipped into Tanzania. I was right on the border of Rwanda and Burundi in the Crater Lakes. Oh, it was awesome. I'd love to go back there. I do, you know, I think the people, awesome. There's so much more feeling and love, and there's something very special about Africa. Definitely. Zimbabwe. My father is from Zimbabwe. He had a sickness and had a near-death experience last year, and said he saw his relatives deciding if he will stay or not. Yeah. You know, there's so many cultures where people speak to their ancestors. I do too. Now that I'm aware. Well, I sort of did before, but I wasn't really sure what was going on. do like yeah, I have wondered about the South American, you know, 'cause I've seen that film Apocalypto, and they talk about their ancestors, but they don't seem to have. God, I suppose God for them is just the forest, and that's their mother God, so they're in tune with that. So I'm sure they're going to be in a good place spiritually. Yeah, there's a lot of African information that may get lost if it's not kept. Like I watched a video Barack Obama going to where he was from in Kenya, and there were all these, you know, strange rituals. How, you know, the father stays in his house, and they have a son. The son must go and build a house, and you know, there were lots of things, but you know, there's probably really good reasons, and their traditions probably stem back further than any other thing in the world, I'd say. There's a lot we can learn from each other. Definitely. Cool. Do you know my email? Well, I think it's just me and you, bro. It can feel a bit weird, you know, like, well, I'm on video and all you can do is type, and I looked at the Google Hangout thing, and that just wasn't going to work. It's old hat, you know. I mean, good if you could all, you know, have multiple video discussions, but when there's time delays and stuff like that, then it's just not going to work. Like Santanos, you know, I heard something recently that's really cool. You might see me mention it. Telepathy works when you like someone. If you think about it, that's such a cool rule, if you like, that God has put in place. Because it means if you do find yourself hating someone, they're not going to get it off of you telepathically. And it means, you know, that we can really start to make connections with people on the soul level, and telepathy works. So rather than make things awkward, I'm just gonna do a bit of meditation. If you want to meditate with me, that'd be awesome, and see if we can see if I can feel you, see if you can feel me. If you don't, if that's cool with you, then I think it is. Cool. And thank you for commenting and stuff. Thanks. It's interesting, I meet a lot of mixed race people. I'm mixed. I consider myself mixed. My mum's Norwegian, my dad's from London, but he's got some Indian in him and all sorts, I bet. Whereas my mum's basically a purebred Viking who stayed in Norway. So I'm that's mixed as far as I'm concerned. I think there's something about people who've got, I'm not saying better or anything, it makes us a bit different. It means we've got two sides of, two sides we can look at. Gives us a wider view. We're all God's people. God wouldn't, that's the main thing to prove that Yahweh isn't God, is God would not have a chosen people. God isn't going to have favourites. It's so great once you connect with God, once you feel God, even if it's just a little sense of God. It's so good because you know that God is there. So you don't need to fear anything. Don't need to worry about anyone else. God is looking after them too. Have that faith. And when that faith is strong enough, you'll face anything. Someone else in the house. I'm going to make a fag, because we've still got 40 minutes to go. What are we going to do in 40 minutes? Well, Santanos, Rabbi, I don't know if you say it, Rabbi, sorry, probably say it wrong. Did you find that a bit? Did you worry that it was going to be sexual? I'm just putting it out there. I'm guessing you're a guy. I believe you are. And a guy will feel different to a girl meditating if you feel them. And if you're a guy, you are going to feel the girl's love basically coming in around testicles area. Okay, my phone might not actually last 40 minutes. It's just told me it's on low power mode. Anyway, so it's very easy for telepathy for a guy to turn telepathy from a woman into sex. Basically, feeling goes into the testicles, and then the man's all like "Whoo!" and then the feeling moves into the penis, and once you then start getting an erection, it's going to be difficult to kind of feel. You can, realise, oh, okay, I'm getting sexual. You can bring the feeling back where it came from, and then there must be another tube, right? Into the other tube, tubes, into your heart. And, you know, especially if it's an attractive woman, it's difficult for a guy not to get sexual if they get feelings. But quite often, you know, the woman, it's not necessarily sexual, it's just, you know, loving, nice, friendly, whatever. And when I felt love from men, it's very much sort of coming in here. Coming directly here. Warm, nice, loving. And for me, that it's very, very difficult for that to become sexual. So I don't know if, for women, whether they feel men's love differently or not. And I don't think they will, actually. I think a woman will still feel the love from a woman coming from underneath like that. And you see, God's love comes in a different place. Where God's love comes in, only God's love can come in. So when you do feel God's love coming into you, either from Father would be sort of basically right in the centre of the crown, and Mother would be, like I said, right on the tip of the anus. Basically, that's where it's going to be. It seems weird and awful, and it has made me wonder if, you know, how people have the devil, God and the devil is below and God is above. They've kind of turned Mother God into devil, which is absolutely wrong. And you can't think that the devil is equal to God at all. I mean, the devil's there. Devil's smart. It's one thing I've avoided doing a video about, but I did have an experience with the devil about a year ago, in fact. And he was bloody smart. He really made me feel like everything, like, I say this, whatever it is, and I might try and explain it, whatever it is, was like a challenger. It was like challenging it made me feel like God couldn't cope. Right? That's what it's capable of doing. It's like smart and can trick you and will come for you when you think you're weakest. I don't know if that will happen to you. I don't actually think it will, because, and this is going to sound, you know, far out, but hey, you know I'm far out. I kind of took the devil in, and as far as I'm aware, I haven't let him out. Whatever. And the nearest thing I got to thinking what the devil could be, because I know it's not a person, it's not one of God's children, so I'm not talking about Lucifer, and don't think Satan's something else. And it, you know, in fact, every now and then I do think, well, I took it in and I haven't let it out. Yeah, I'm still functioning. I'm still okay, even though I did go through an ordeal 6 months ago in my health. It was pretty hard. And earlier, I don't know, today or yesterday, I remembered it again that I hadn't done anything with that, and it almost started to make me feel a bit negative, like, oh shit, what the... Yeah. Got over it. So yeah, it's a bit, that's why I haven't made a video about it, because, you know, with a lot of things I said, that kind of just goes quite dodgy. So I started that off. So I don't know if there was if I'm right about that, Santos, what I felt from you, if there was a bit of a slight reluctance in case it was gay or something. So, if that is the case, then, you know, what will be, right? I can tell you no one's gay, so there's nothing to worry about. Don't need to worry about any of that. And, you know, if these thoughts come into your head or whatever, and if anything puts you off, you know, analyse it and think, why does it put me off? And usually anything that puts you off will be untruth. It's like you couldn't invent, try as hard as you can, you couldn't invent a more perfect universe than what God has made it. Try and imagine a reality, a utopia, perfect reality. If it differs in any way to the reality that is, and I'm talking not just this physical universe, the reality that is, then you will eventually see that it's not perfect and it wouldn't work. But as you start inventing the perfect reality, you may just then suddenly realise, wow, that's how it is, that's the truth. Like telepathy works when you like someone. You know, it was Krista Razor who said that, and it was about 2 weeks ago I heard it, and you know, it's revealing things. It's sort of, oh yeah, that makes sense. And it's a good truth, that one. It's a good truth. Krista Razor, if you've ever checked her out. I'll type it. If anyone's got any, you know, because it seems a lot of the people I'm following on YouTube are kind of running out of ideas, it seems. Well, they're not doing many videos, and quite often bit dull for me. I mean, really just makes me think, shut the lid and just connect with God. Because I know I haven't run out of things to learn from God, I'm just not sure if I'm quite ready for more yet. Oh, we got to get these Bible bashers. We've got to teach them. The Word is truth, not the Bible. We've got to get that out there. So, yeah, I think I will do this again next week. Atheists versus theists debates. Okay. Yeah. Okay, they televise them, do they? I mean, I haven't had arguments with atheists for ages. But a good few years ago, I saw all it was is like just trying to get people to, yeah, you know, come on, there is a God. And arguments with them on Facebook and stuff like that. I haven't had a lot of that for a while. So usually I would absolutely be on the theist's side. But in a sense, the atheists are often coming at it from a point of, come on, the Bible, you know, what ends up getting discussed, usually, or quite often, is not whether God exists. It's all ends up being about the Bible. And, you know, just throwing scripture at each other, which, yeah, I guess that could be quite entertaining. But I think we definitely need to get a more wider view, a wider debate on, I've tried to go on theology online discussions. I mean, I got kicked off pretty quick. Just saying God's mother as well as father, and they kick you off. I mean, religion is what everyone wants to debate, but I think no one really wants to host a debate, let's say like BBC or, a national debate on religion, because I think they're just worried it will turn into a frenzy, and it probably would. So I guess the debate needs to be a bit more organic, and it's kind of happening on YouTube, I'd say. I mean, if views are anything to go by, then I'm seriously losing. But hey, I'm sticking in there. Because, I know my message. I know. Here. And this is what I've been following the last few years. So I do know. And that's what keeps me going. Certainly isn't the views. But hey, rather have just a few who listen than millions who don't. It would become a problem. It would become a problem if my videos got really popular and I was getting thousands of messages. I suppose I could make it my fault. Actually, not a problem at all. It wouldn't be a problem. Hire someone to read the messages. You've got to live in the now. It's always now. The eternal now. I'm hopeless at making plans. But hey, I know I'm on the right path, so I'm happy just to go step by step. I know I'm going in the right direction. It's all good. Apart from filthy habits. But everything I'm smoking here is natural tobacco, of the weed. Oh, really low power, 10%. It's getting really hot as well. Anyway, is what it is. Is what it is. There's no point beating yourself up. I often, when I want a fag or joint, don't have one, and just feel the error of depending upon this instead of depending upon God. And so quite often the meditation works better when I don't smoke, but that's when I've been smoking too much. If I went 5 hours without one, 5 hours? 5 hours? I do that when I sleep. But no, at times, sometimes the temptation to have it can be quite strong. What I found, I have said this, if the feeling that you get from withdrawing from what you want is stronger than the feeling you'd get from having it, and you can kind of assess that, then you should definitely withdraw. So after 5 hours of not smoking a joint would give me a very strong feeling. And with tobacco, the more recently you've smoked tobacco, the stronger the urge is to have it. So once you've gone a couple of hours, the urge isn't that strong, but if you've told yourself, I'm giving up, and it's been 2 hours since you've had a fag, because you've said to yourself, I'm going to give up, it's so much harder, because there's that pressure on yourself. You're not thinking about having a cigarette now so much. you're thinking that I can't have another fag tonight, tomorrow, the next day. How am I gonna cope? And so that doesn't work. You get yourself so stressed that you just fuck it all, collapse. Mustn't swear, otherwise they ban you. Which is good. It's good. You can't have people get millions of views just because they're basically saying constant swear words. And what are they going to do now for laughs if they can't swear? They haven't got anything out there, so can you keep up? Who's that? Oh yeah, me. How long we got? How long we got left, man? I usually look at my phone for the time. Yeah, well anyway, the battery might last. No, I don't think it's going to last. I think it's going to die in about 5 minutes. So if anyone has a burning question, send it now. Or I might close my eyes and we'll do 10 minutes meditating, or 5. 5 or 10. Okay, so now I want to experiment. We have got more than one person with us. So, is it any better doing meditation through live video? Should we see? Calm, sensitive, gentle, surrender, embrace. Pain is just a resistance to a feeling. Here's to the next 10 billion years. Brothers and sisters, trust the heart. That is a spiritual journey. Still says 3. Sorry. Everybody go. The R sound is supposed to be the heart, or is it ah, or is it ah? Ah sounds like and then there's om. I don't like as much. I like ah though. I like doing that. I like doing it in the bath, and it resonates, and you go, or you change pitch until you hear it resonate. When I'm in the bath, it's usually quite a low resonation. You gotta listen to the Moody Blues. Oh, they are so good. It feels so nice. They say some great words. I'm not gonna sing any because get copyright. Talk to God. Ask God what God's favourite film is. See if you get an answer. I mean, God will kind of say, well, I don't really have a favourite film, do you know what I mean? It's not really my bag. But if I did have a favourite film, it would be this one. Be interesting if, if you got the same answer as me. I watched it. Brilliant film. Head and shoulders above any other film I watched. Well, at least head, I think. And it makes sense when you've watched it why it's God's favourite. It does. But I won't tell you until next week. That's your homework. It came up when I was watching a Franciscan, and he was talking about go on a date with God. Go on a date, And it strikes me that, sort of never ask those sort of just, getting to know you questions, because God is a person. 30 billion years old or whatever. And my son, he always asks me questions like, what's your favourite film, what's your favourite this and that. So I thought, I'll meditate and I'll ask God what her favourite film is. Can't call God it, can you? I mean, that's just wrong. So you have to say his, And they would both have the same favourite film. They would. They're not arguing. They're not arguing with each other. Your favourite film is this. What do I bother you for anyway? Thankfully, there's none of that going on with God. The enigma is, we have eternal souls. But we had a beginning. That's an enigma. How can that be? I can't guarantee we've got eternal souls. I can only pretty much guarantee 100 billion years. That's as far as I can see. And I can tell you it's as far as I want to see. And you hit source. Who knows what happens when you get hit source, when you go into source. Don't worry, you're not going to go into source early. You're not going to get sucked in by it. You get sucked to it. I remember when I first saw source, it was like this. And it's like, I don't think I did that with my arms, but that's how it felt. I mean, feeling your soul within God's universe, which is within another universe, and within another universe, and within another universe, and within another universe, and within another universe. Is there one more? And then hit source. I mean, the claustrophobic. That's the fear that would make you want to not feel it. But by then I'd already done quite a few, I'll say brave things. I was determined I wasn't gonna choke, as the Radiohead song said. And so I'd had a few experiences of, that fear when you're at the brink of going into something, because once you go in, it's going to be like a waterfall. It's like jumping off a waterfall. And God's protecting you, God's guiding you. God wouldn't have led you up to that just to kill you or anything. God is good. That's the truth. So anyway, we had a beginning. We might have existed for 1 billion years already, but the first one of us became aware only about 6,000 years ago. And since then, every time